Hey everyone, welcome back to another video. My name is Blake and this is Merch Campus, a channel that's dedicated to learning about Merch by Amazon and resources and training that's related to that platform. Today, I'm going to share with you a resource that I've been working on and that a few people have been asking me about: 101 scalable t-shirt ideas. We're in the Halloween period. These are my last 7-day sales. I use a lot of the t-shirt ideas in this PDF. And so for people who don't have a lot of slots, I always say you look at what is trending seasonally, what might even be a phrase, like the phrase teachers love brains, and then you know that that's a proven phrase, a proven seller, and then you can offer that phrase to a niche that has not been served yet. So maybe librarians haven't been served, and so you can do librarians love brains. Maybe the principal hasn't been served, or maybe the administrative assistant, or maybe a substitute teacher. And so these are ways that you basically leverage huge interest in this phrase, but you can serve more markets that people are neglecting. Then I would enter those seasonal trends, and it happens every holiday. There's a different trend that's happening. So that's how I would approach it. If you're on the low tiers, I would just price low and try to get sales so I can tier up, because that's kind of when merch becomes more exciting, is when you have slots. There are two versions of once you have slots, how do you fill those slots? And how do you, for example, create 10,000 products? So this is horizontal scaling, and then this is vertical scaling. Vertical scaling, all it means, sounds like fancy words, but vertical scaling, which means you're going deep into one niche or market. So let's say your market is unicorns. And so you're like, I'm just going to go deep into this market so I can create 100 different designs in my unicorn market. That's called vertical scaling. And how you would do that, for example, you have 100 scalable ideas that you can all fit into the unicorn niche. So that's one area that you could approach with, right? So it's vertical scaling, increasing your presence in one market or niche. The other one is horizontal scaling. So you could take one phrase or anything, and I'll show you some examples of phrases, and you just go wide and you say, you know what, I want to test out 100 niches to see where I can invest more time and energy, to see which one responds and works well. And so you put the same phrase across 100 different niches. So you're going wide, right? So it's called horizontal scaling. And then often what you could do is you're like, okay, so out of all those, which ones have sold? And then maybe I can go vertically into those. So it's a good way to kind of test demand and interest for your designs. Now, to give you a sense of like some of the phrases, if you write, and you've surely seen these before, when you have root phrases that have all these different tail ends, there's generally huge demand for that type of phrase, right? So these are proven sellers. And then all of these are animal related here, but you can do this for practically anything that has niche interest, right? Just a girl who loves painting, just a girl who loves hiking, etc., etc. And so that would be an example of a scalable phrase that is proven, it's a proven seller. And so this is something I leveraged a lot back in the day, and I continue to do so, because it's a very easy way to kind of bring in new and interesting niches with proven formulas and templates. The same concept here. Again, this is kind of animal focused, but it could be for anything. It could be for jobs, it could be for hobbies, it could be for sports, right? And so these are examples of what I call scalable phrases. And you'll see that a lot of successful sellers, sometimes they'll have brands, one brand dedicated just a girl who loves fill in the blank. So it could be like just a girl who loves brand, and then you go in there and there are hundreds and hundreds of designs that dedicate to that phrase, targeting different niches because it's proven to sell. And so then you have these two approaches. You can either bulk up your position in one niche, or you can go wide and test all these different niches. And again, if you're in the low tiers, I recommend you just do whatever it takes to tier up, and then you can look on YouTube for resources and material around that. There's more than enough information. But for the people who have the slots, and let's say you want to create 10,000 products, fill those slots. A good example might be you have 100 phrases and 100 niches, and you just smash them together, 10,000 products. And so what's really cool about this, that I like a lot, is that it pairs really well with the Merch Informer product designer, particularly since these are a lot of phrase, text-based, formulas and templates. I like this for text. I prefer Photoshop and then other design tools for like more graphic work. But if you're just doing very simple text designs, you could just use this. So for an example, if we're taking a scalable phrase, and always important to check for trademarks. And the interesting note, and actually I want to mention this now, is that I've actually stopped uploading for the past few days. Currently, they adjusted their algorithm, which automatically rejects certain trademark terms, the bot, and they've heightened its sensitivity. So like products that used to go through, don't go through anymore for me. And I got rejection after rejection, and then I believe it actually hurts my daily sales, but it's kind of a myth. And so I've actually stopped, and I'm going to wait just to see, because like in the groups every day, there are things like, oh, I got random rejection again, got a random rejection again. And so I'm just going to hold back for now from uploading until they maybe chill out a bit with this algorithm shift. But back to the topic at hand. Let's say we're in the Merch Informer design tool, and this works with practically anything. You have a phrase, and just to see kind of how quickly you can create a design that's valid for a niche, let's say we take the template, which is sorry I'm late, I was fill in the blank. It's kind of like that sarcastic novelty phrase on shirts, which seem to sell very well. And then I include in the PDF as well, a list of like free fonts that I use, but I also bought a lot of font bundles that I continue to use regularly. So think about buying fonts. I know Young always recommends, buy your fonts, and they have a lot of value, especially if you can stand out. And so let's say, for example, we take this font, and I'm going to do something like, okay, so that took, like a minute or two, and it's pretty basic design. But the point is, it's very easy to test a design in a niche, and it's funny, and a lot of these phrases, they bank on the humor of the phrase. For people who know, like, merch by Amazon, you'll often look in, like, the top 100 shirts. They're super basic and super kind of, like, loud and bold, and they just have a funny, almost like a gag humor phrase on it, right? And so that would be an example of it. And then you can also just change the font. And so this would be a completely different style, right? Because it's much more kind of cute, friendly font. And so you can very much play around with, stylistically, color-wise as well. And so the idea here really is like you have all these phrases that when you find a new niche, you can quickly just test out and bulk up a presence in the niche to see if that niche works. Let's say I stumble on the niche of like saunas, people who love going to saunas. And so I would find a few phrases like, sorry I'm late, I was in the sauna. And then I'll try that out, maybe put like some Steam graphics in it, because you could just do text only, and that's fine. But the thing is, there's something to be said about the longevity of a design on Amazon, because the longer a design is on Amazon that's selling, the more likely people are going to see that it's selling and then create something akin to that. It's kind of the merch way, right? And so the way you can kind of bring more longevity to a design is by adding more depth to the design. So like multiple fonts or adding graphics, some kind of complexity that makes it stand apart. Because if it's just pure text, and there's a lot of sellers that do just pure text, like a guy called Noisebot back in the day. You can do pure text, especially at scale, right? Because then you can enter so many different niches. But you can very easily stand out by just adding a graphic or some depth or complexity or color or multiple fonts. And so that's kind of what I would recommend going about it. And so as we're in the heart of Q4, it helps a lot to have an easy way to create a lot of designs in a lot of different niches. And so this is a cool way and a resource that I use. Like that's why I put it together, because it's something that I use whenever I'm entering a new niche or whenever I'm kind of testing out one phrase across tons of different niches. Very easy way to scale out cool offerings for the consumer. At the end of the day, like that's what merch Amazon is. Like we're creating offerings and more choice for the consumer to resonate with, and then they'll hopefully purchase it if it connects with them. And in Q4, you have this rush in the gift giving season, so you can enter all these niches, and a great way to enter it is just to be able to churn out a lot of designs really fast. Something I use as well seasonally, so with seasonal trends, there'll be certain things. For example, the classic one in the Halloween is, this is my human costume, I'm really an alien, or I'm really a unicorn, or I'm really anything, right? Fill in the blank, German Shepherd. That's an exact example of like a seasonal phrase that you can scale out, and I've had great success with it. Great success in the past. Hopefully that was interesting and useful. Gives you some insight into how to approach niches vertically, horizontally, quickly create designs, or to bulk up your position in the niche, adding complexity and depth with multiple fonts, graphics, maybe colors. And then at the end of the day, just, have fun. In the conclusion of this PDF, I say like, it's really about like your own creativity. Creativity is something that no one can compete with you on, because you're creating something unique that has not existed before. But the reason I love these ideas, in many ways, they're doing a lot of the creative work for you. Like you don't have to validate demand, because these are validated already. It's a fun, easy way to know like, oh, someone has bought this in the German Shepherd niche in the past. Maybe they would buy this in the bowling niche or the ballet niche, and so on and so forth. So thank you very much for watching. I'm going to put the link in the description if this is something that is interesting to you. So yeah, thanks again for watching, and I'll look forward to talking to you in the next video. Take care.